Hey guys, so what am I working on today? Well, I'm doing more electrical work in the truck here. There's the end result of my switch there. My brake switch seems pretty solid, but if it does come apart on me, well, no worries. I'll head out and see down to Sale Electronics and see if I can get a push button switch that's multiple pole and just replace this with it. It shouldn't be too big a deal. I was gonna originally go there on Friday, but I couldn't be bothered, so modifying this seemed to be the best alternative, and I think it'll work out okay. I got a good load of epoxy in between the two layers and didn't stick things, and it hasn't popped apart with me pressing on it like this right now anyways, so I think we'll be good to go. So what am I doing today? Well, that's my connector for the old style ignition switch, like I've got sitting there. As well, that's a connector that goes to the high beam low beam thing. Plus I salvaged some lengths of wire out of another harness, out of the same harness as that. And I'm going to go and splice these into the harness here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of fun stuff with the ignition switch one, because in a previous video I mentioned that there's an extra wire on the van harness which controls things that are not related to the accessories but are not essential to starting the vehicle, like the headlights and that sort of thing that are disconnected automatically when you turn the switch to start from run, and they're not on at any other time other than run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to insert a couple of relays in the harness to kind of basically turn that lead on when we're in run, but not when we're in accessory or start. So basically what that means is if either of those two are on, that one should be off. Actually, no, it's not true. Basically put it this way: if start is on, we want it to turn off. We want it to be on and run, but not an accessory. So hopefully that's gonna. Sorry, I'm confusing the hell out of you guys. I'm still trying to work it out in my own brain here, but it's supposed to be pretty simple. So I'm gonna do that with with one or maybe two relays, but I'll insert them into the harness before I go and solder it under the dash there. Okay, so what am I doing right now? Well, you should know. Wiring harness, and I'm gonna flop my butt in here, and I've got it all wrapped from the fuse box. I lengthened my wire for this. It's actually a lot longer than it needed to be for the dimmer switch. It's all nicely wrapped up there. A couple of relays, flashers, that sort of thing are all taped to the harness. Identified one connector that I didn't have identified, and that was the wiper switch. That looks familiar, doesn't it? That's the ignition switch connectors, and I haven't soldered in my replacement connector because I burned myself again, and not in the literal sense, just the figurative burn. I thought I had relays upstairs, and I had a good look, and I initially didn't find them, and then I found the ones that I knew I had, and they're not double pole. And for what I need to do, basically what I need to do is that one circuit needs to be powered when the ignition switch is in run and not in the process of starting. And that's fairly easy to accomplish. I just, run power through the contacts of the relay whenever the key is in run, and the coil of the relay is only powered when you hit the start switch. And what the idea being is that you use the normally closed contacts of a relay, and they get interrupted when the coil gets energized. But I don't have any double pole relays. So I don't have that kind of relay anyway, so for what it's worth, I can't do anything more. I don't want to wrap that harness up anymore until I get, obviously the ignition switch resolved. I guess what I can resolve is the last thing that that is a modification of the harness on the interior anyways, and that is the cigarette lighter. And all I have to do with that is I just have to bring a gray wire downstream of the cigarette lighter and hook that into the instrument panel lights. So I'll probably do that if I can find what I did with the van cigarette lighter, because I might, if I don't have to, I might just save that one. But if I can't find it, I'll use that one, the new one. But regardless, it's hotter than hell here. It's I don't know how humid it is, but it feels really, really humid. I'm just roasting. I'm not doing any physical labor. I'm just working inside the truck and I'm roasting. But the corn is starting to suffer. I go over and I look at my neighbor's place, and I'll try and hold the camera as steady as I possibly can. Here, I'll brace myself against the door frame. And you can see it's starting to turn yellow over there. So if we don't get some of that there rain soon, we're going to be in trouble here, because it's going to start to die everywhere. Anyways, doesn't seem to be bothering the animals too much. They're still finding food to eat around here. They're not eating the weeds though, which would be really nice. Anyways, I'll let you guys go for the moment. Keeping busy? Well, I know I am. Working inside here. I've got my cigarette lighter. I decided to use the new one, well, mainly because I couldn't find the old one. That's fine. I spliced in my light for it, and I thought I might just quickly mention how I determined that that was the right wire to splice into without just trial and error. Meter with one probe in the wiring harness. Oh, bugger me if you can't see that. That right there, there's a row of connectors on this fuse panel that are the lamp for the instrument panel lamps. I just plugged one in there. Just from experience with this harness, I know that the gray wire is the instrument panel, but there are two gray wires on this connector, and of course I just literally probed one and then probed the other one. And that's the one that was the obviously the one that I spliced into. So anyways, just something, maybe it's obvious, but I don't know. I hope, since so many people are so intimidated by electrics in a car, I hope that those sorts of things help a little bit for people. See, that's probably what the other gray wire is. Yeah, left front speaker, because this is actually the radio wire harness. Well, we could verify that pretty quickly just by probing it, but I'm not too worried about it. Regardless, I'm going to rewrap this up to the point where the cigarette lighter splits off, and I suppose I can rewrap it almost all the way to the end there. But so I'll probably do that, and at that point I'm stalled by my lack of a relay. But I thought I might just talk briefly about my heater. I've got an idea for this, and I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know if I will, but it does away with the mechanical linkage and makes this all electronic, all homemade, and I am going to explore how I can do it, because whereas it would be nice to have it, push button controlled, where you push buttons up and down control the speed, and push buttons control, each of the controls left and right. I'm wondering if there's a neater way of doing that, and I'm going to do some research myself. We'll see what we come up, or what I come up with. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I'm melting here, and it's probably 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night, and it's not getting any cooler. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. It's not getting any cooler. According to that, the humidity is 40%, but I swear it's hotter than that, or it's more humid than that. So I'm going to go in and take a break and have some Philly cheese naan.